In addition to God's mercy, Abraham's loyalty, and God's blessings to Abraham, Genesis chapter 12 verses 1 through 3 also draws attention to the fact that blessings would come through Abraham to other peoples. Remember what God said in Genesis chapter 12 verses 2 and 3. "And you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." These words explained that Abraham would not only receive blessings, but that all peoples on earth will be blessed through him. God did not call Abraham to the Promised Land simply to enrich his life and the lives of his descendants. God called Abraham to be a conduit of divine blessings to all the families of the earth. Now, it's important to remember that this passage teaches that Abraham's worldwide blessing would come about in two ways. In Genesis chapter 12 verse 3, God said, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse." According to this passage, Abraham would serve as a double-edged sword among human beings. Because Abraham was favored by God, when people from other nations blessed Abraham, that is, when they honored him and thus honored the God whom he served, then God would bless them. But when people of other nations cursed or attacked Abraham and thus disdained Abraham's God, God would punish them. The fates of other people depended on how they treated Abraham. In his lifetime, Abraham came into contact with many people representing other nations, such as the Philistines, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, his nephew Lot, who was the father of the Moabites and the Ammonites. These interactions were significant because they showed specific ways in which God kept his word to bless and curse other peoples, depending on how they treated Abraham. They also indicated that even in his own lifetime, Abraham had begun to become a blessing to the world. All too often, it's easy for God's people to forget this important teaching. The Israelites in Moses' day were like many Christians living today. We enjoy the blessing of salvation from God and life from God, but we forget why these blessings have been given to each of us. Each and every blessing God gave to Israel under Moses' leadership, and each and every blessing he gives to his church today, is designed for a greater purpose. We have been blessed so that we will spread the blessings of God throughout the world. God called Abraham to himself so that Abraham would lead the nations of the world into God's blessings. God called Israel to himself in Moses' day so that they would lead the nations of the world into God's blessings. And God has called the church to himself today so that we may lead the nations of the world into the blessings of God. This theme was so important for the Israelites who first received the stories of Abraham, and it is important for us too as we follow Christ in our day. In this lesson, we've taken our first look at an overview of the life of Abraham. And we focused our attention on the structure or design of this portion of Genesis. And we've also examined the main themes or content that Moses presented in Abraham's life in the context of this literary structure. As we move forward in these lessons, we'll return to the topics of this lesson time and again. We've seen that the story of Abraham's life has a 5-step symmetry. And we've also seen that there are 4 main themes in Abraham's life: God's benevolence to Abraham, Abraham's loyalty, the blessings of God to Abraham, and the blessings of God through Abraham. These themes not only give us insights into what the story of Abraham's life meant long ago when it was first written for Israel, but they also make it possible for us to apply this portion of Scripture to our lives today.